Hey everyone, and welcome to Career Quest. Today I'm here with David Earnhardt once again. He works for the University of North Carolina, Asheville as the Associate Director for Employer Relations. So David, thank you for joining me again for this conversation. We kind of were able to dig in a little bit last time, but got a few more questions for you if that's all right.
Absolutely.
What's one thing you wish you had known before you got started in your current career?
So I think something that I kind of anticipated and at the same time didn't realize the level that would be required is the way the amount of interrelated and collaborative this work is. Mm-hmm. So I see myself in a collaboration role with anybody that I'm working with, and at the same time, Asheville is a very it's a very unique community, and it's a very almost very interrelated community. And I don't know that I was really expecting that. I was thinking it being a little bit more transactional, being a little bit more finite, and the amount of interrelated work that is that's done as part of this role is definitely something that I was not anticipating when I first started. I'm excited it happened, but it's new. Yeah,
I can relate to that, and I understand it's a small community. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we run into each other and work with each other more closely than maybe a bigger metropolitan area.
Absolutely.
What motivates you most about doing the kind of work that you do?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is working with students in a way it gives them opportunity, and so I think whenever I work with a student or whenever I kind of help them understand what the employer picture looks like in Asheville, my goal is to drown that student in hope. Because there is this kind of old adage of if you're going to move to Asheville, you got to bring your own house and you got to bring your own job. And one of those is true. Bringing your own job is absolutely not the case. And so having a community that is so motivated to stay local and to hire local and retain and be able to find a living in the mountains and in the community is really impactful. And so that's what wakes me up in the morning is to be able to tell that story to the students that I work with. Mm-hmm.
And what do you tell yourself when something goes wrong? And you've made a mistake at work?
Well, my goal is to not make that mistake again. And at the same time, if someone's giving me feedback, or like if it's interpersonal, they're upset about something, I recognize that they're not upset at me. They're upset at something I did. And so being able to separate the personal from the performance, I think is the biggest thing that I have had to learn, because it can feel very personal if someone comes to me and has an issue with something that I've done. And to separate that and be able to say, they're giving me feedback on what I did, not who I am. And so that was a learning curve for me as I've been in this career.
Hopefully these videos are being watched by some youth out there thinking about what their career might look like in the future. And we encourage kids and other individuals to go off and get a degree somewhere. But often we don't talk about that there's employment opportunities within the university system. So it's kind of unique to be interviewing you today and learning about your position in that way. So, what is some advice, for someone who might think to themselves, actually, I'd like to work at a university?
So I kind of the starting point for most positions in the university is a bachelor's degree. And for a lot of the kind of professional supervision-oriented roles, a master's degree might be required. And at the same time, that's not required to start. So, for example, if they really want to work in a university setting and work for the state, to be a part of the grounds crew, or to be part of our event staff, or to be part of, working in a food service environment, working when, making sure our residence halls are clean and sanitary, like those requirements are don't have a bachelor's degree requirement. And so for me, they can kind of get in and understand what it means to be in a university setting with some of those that don't require the degree. That way they can test it out and know if the seasonality of education is useful to them. And so And then their benefits would start. Like they can get state benefits without having the bachelor's degree. And then if they want to move up and move through a bachelor's degree, and then eventually a master's might be valuable.
Yeah. I think mainly what I'm hearing is, it's not just professors that work
absolutely
at universities. There's a whole lot of other layers to running a university and a campus and all that. So
absolutely.
Lots of jobs, lots of opportunity.
There's actually more staff positions than faculty in a lot of institutions.
So thank you again for having this conversation with us and telling us a little bit about the opportunities there might be even within the university system.
Thank you.
So thanks
for having me.